Welcome to our weekly maritime vlog. I'm Corey Ransom with International Maritime Security Associates. We have Bennett, the #1 producer, behind the camera running the show. Mr. B is with us here today. We are going to be wishing the Coast Guard R&D Center a happy 50th birthday. In past episodes here on the vlog, as all of you faithful viewers know, we talk about the Coast Guard occasionally. Today, though, we're going to talk about a Coast Guard subject that's really near and dear to my heart. It's the Coast Guard's Research and Development Center. And as we discuss this topic today, you'll find out a little bit more about why I really like the Coast Guard R&D Center. The Coast Guard Research and Development Center was originally opened in 1968, so 50 years ago. That's why they're having the 50th birthday. In 1972, they moved the Coast Guard R&D Center to a location at the University of Connecticut. From there, in 2009, they moved the Coast Guard R&D Center to its current home in New London. The Coast Guard R&D Center was originally set up to really look at the national kind of data buoy issues and really develop that program to collect meteorological data. Now, over the past 50 years, the Coast Guard R&D Center has evolved. They have some amazing partnerships within the Coast Guard, with other Coast Guard units, but also exterior to the Coast Guard. Other organizations within the Department of Homeland Security, within military organizations, because it's really important that as the Coast Guard R&D Center has been evolving in their mission from the beginning to where they are now, that they work with all these other agencies and organizations when it comes to different types of equipment and procedures that they want to put through their R&D test and evaluation process. Test and evaluation is one of the main things that the Coast Guard R&D Center is involved in. As the R&D Center has evolved, they've looked at how to improve main space firefighting. They were integral in oil spill cleanup when the Exxon Valdez took place, but also into testing technologies when it came to the Deepwater Horizon. The Coast Guard R&D Center has been involved in the test and evaluation of different types of drug detection equipment, along with other types of technology that the Coast Guard field units currently use. They've also been involved and are moving into testing artificial intelligence and machine learning and big data and how that applies to the Coast Guard mission. And it's cool to see, as the R&D Center has evolved, how they've gotten involved with university and, like we said, some of the other agencies and organizations. When I was in the Coast Guard, I had the fortunate opportunity to be able to work very closely with the Coast Guard Research and Development Center when they were testing a piece of drug detection equipment that the Coast Guard uses pretty widely still today. So I was involved in the very early stages of the test and evaluation. And it was a lot of fun to be able to work with the scientists and the doctors and the people who were testing these different pieces of equipment in the lab to be able to open up field operations to bring them actually into the field so that we could test this equipment in real-world field conditions. And it was really cool to be able to show the different doctors and the scientists and the people who were working on the test and evaluation of this drug detection equipment in the lab, how we would actually put into practice using this in the field. So it was really interesting as a field unit to be involved with the test and evaluation of different equipment. And the really interesting thing with it, as we went forward in testing and evaluation of this drug detection equipment, I was fortunate to be able to be a part of the team with the Coast Guard Research and Development Center that wrote a paper for the scientific community on just different things that we were testing. And with that, I got invited my last year in the Coast Guard with the folks from the R&D Center to go to a conference in Germany to be able to present our paper to the scientific community. So it was really cool to see how that whole process came together. I don't know today, I haven't talked to the folks at the R&D Center or Coast Guard field units, but one of the things that I would definitely recommend, that if you're in the Coast Guard and in a field unit, that you would engage with the Coast Guard R&D Center. There's some amazing people up there who are working on different types of new technologies to be able to bring into the field. And the people in the R&D Center can only do so much. They really need the help of field personnel to be able to say, hey, this may work great in lab conditions, but it may not work so well in field field conditions. So one of the things that I would recommend is, as field units, that you guys still try to engage and work with the Coast Guard R&D Center. They have some amazing people, some amazing scientists, and some amazing abilities up there that cannot be disconnected from what the field units are doing. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate all the viewers that we have. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you get notified when we post new videos across the board here on YouTube. Also, connect to us through our social media. Join the conversation, ask us questions, reach out to us. We really want to hear from you guys, our viewers, on how we do what we do, but also get ideas from you guys on topics that you want to see us cover here on a weekly basis. Make sure you hit that like button for all the videos you like. If you have any questions when it comes to maritime risk management, regulatory compliance, or maritime security, please don't hesitate to reach out to our experts here at IMSA, because we're always happy to steer you in the right direction.